should have had a haircut before he went away. His blonde fringe is almost covering his eyes. Tears are flowing down my face now as I lift the pillow. Just before it reaches his face, the eyes things shoot open and look straight at me. My son's eyes, a brilliant blue just like his father. I look into those eyes and hesitate for a single moment. Then there's the quickest flash of black, and I press the pillow down firmly. Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill him. The thing knows I have the power now. The arms and legs are flailing desperately, but I won't let it win. My family depends on this. It doesn't last too long before the body goes limp and I stop pressing. I don't move the pillow though. I don't need to see the face again. A wave of relief comes over me as I sit on the floor to catch my breath. I've dealt with my problem. But what about the other kids that went on that trip? Their parents are probably as clueless as my husband. I'm here to help though. No family should suffer like this. I'll start with Tommy. He's only 2 doors down and his parents are good people. I want to help them. Oh my gosh. The end. That's crazy. Okay. So this next story was by Gazarish. I work for Cryptic Compendium. A pudgy man in his late 30s answered the door, his eyes reading my appearance nervously. Mr. Scott, I inquired. Yes, I am here from Cryptic Compendium, I said, showing him my ID card. He sighed in relief. Oh, please, come in fast. We don't have much time. I sat on the couch near the table, where a picture of him with a woman sat, but the dirt on the top indicated that she wasn't living with him. He grabbed a chair across where he stared into my eyes, wide open. It was obvious no one would expect a person with this job in a suit. It's the company policy, I said, adjusting the collar. He just smiled. Tax authorities will be here in a few hours, and I want them convinced that this house is inhabitable, he said, checking his wristwatch. That will render it worthless and save me a hefty tax, he winked. We are all set, I said, popping the latch of the suitcase I carried along and pulled out the stack of papers. As we talked on the phone, you need to sign the papers indicating the risk is yours. You aren't summoning a violent ghost, are you? The ghost summoned will have possession of all the members of its past life, but generally they are non-violent or poltergeist type. I handed him the stack of papers. Speaking of which, you need to sign. He stared at the stack of papers nervously. We can take some time for you to read them, or we can reschedule if you want. He glanced towards the door. Greed gets them every time. No, not required, he said, and hastily signed the papers. Payment needs to be upfront, Mr. Scott. He handed me the cash. It won't take much time, will it? You live in quite a posh locality. Meaning, most ghosts residing Most ghosts residing nearby have already been summoned. He looked at me, narrowing his eyes. Did he really think I would draft a 120-page agreement just for one customer? Do you need any space separate for your setup? He asked. No, I answered, setting up the apparatus on the table. Place sacred plants as an offering on the top. I began my chanting, pulled out the lighter and burned the plants, as the smoke lifted to form a shape. This was not natural. Only a few seconds had passed. It was no way possible that a ghost is available so quickly. It seems there was one available nearby, Mr. Scott, I exclaimed. He went pale. His breathing quickened. He ex-wife, he stuttered. I slid the cash and the contract in my suitcase. I should leave, I said, as it solidified into the woman in the picture, with a knife butchered into his chest. Darling, I am home, it said. I paced my way outside as the screams of Mr. Scott began. The end. I have no words. Okay, so this next story, it says, this story has a happy ending. This was by Hyper Obscura. This story has a happy ending. That's my promise to you. But it starts out bleak. A boy is kidnapped, snatched from his home in broad daylight. No one sees anything. No one hears anything. How is that even possible? A busy street full of life, full of witnesses, and not a single soul happens to be seen. A boy being forcefully pulled into a van. What kind of society do we live in where we allow that to happen? But it gets worse. Turns out the boy isn't taken for ransom. The police are clueless. Days, weeks, and months go by, but they are no closer to finding him. It's like he disappeared into thin air. They was behind closed doors. He didn't, of course. We all know that. The parents are broken, shattered in pieces, unfixable. He was their only child. They have no one else to care for. So they don't care. They fall apart at the seams. But they never give up hope. The boy wakes up in excruciating pain every day. He hasn't seen the sun for weeks now. A pallid and morbidly thin shadow of the lively child he once was. He knows only darkness and torment and fear. Minutes are like hours, hours are like days, and days are like weeks. He cries until there are no more tears, and then when he runs out of the salt and the water, his body convulses in horrible seizures, almost as his weakened soul is desperately looking for an off switch. There is no such switch. They won't allow him to die. He knows that. They come down into the darkness every 2 hours like clockwork, with their video cameras and their knives and their blow torches and their wires and their scalpels. They cut him, they slice him, they burn him, they shock him, all the while joking and laughing and idly conversing. Like it's just another day at the job. There are no humans in that basement anymore, just a broken thing and the things that broke him. We are a heinous species, aren't we? We left unchecked. We promised. We will not be persecuted for our crimes. We will do them all for money, for pleasure, for a kick, for science, for curiosity. Just because we can. That's who we are, the essence of humanity. But I promised you this story has a happy ending, and it does. I realize you are worried about your boy. You don't have to be. We're taking good care of him. He keeps asking about you both. In pathetic, sniffled sobs and pleas, I told him we killed you. More tears for the camera. He loves you dearly, and I just thought you should know that. We will keep him alive for a long, long time. Be happy. This is a happy ending, just like I promised. Oh my gosh. I thought it was going to be an actual happy ending, and when I read that. But that's what you get when you get scary stories. Okay, so I have one more story. is always wearing ragged clothes and his hair and beard are messy. Sam is older than me, but that's okay, we can still be best friends. When Sam left after the party, I was very sad. I asked Mommy if Sam could come over and play some more, but she seemed confused and said that she didn't remember inviting anyone called Sam to my party. Mommy is really silly sometimes. September 25th, 2019. I was reading my dinosaur book on my bed yesterday when I heard a tapping noise coming from my window. I looked over and saw Sam there waving at me. I was so happy. Sam has come back to play with me. Sam promised that he would never leave me, and now he lives under my bed. September 27th, 2019. We had school today. I don't like school very much because that big girl Sarah is always bullying me. She calls me lots of mean names and hurts me a lot. I tried to tell Mommy and Daddy, but they never listen, so I decided to tell Sam about it. Sam is always there for me. He said I shouldn't let Sarah push me around, and said I should get my revenge. I'm not really sure what he means, though. Sam says I should leave it to him, and that's okay. I trust Sam. September 28th, 2019. Today Sam came with me to school. He told me that after today, Sarah would never hurt me again. I'm not really sure what he means by that. On my way home from school, Sam took me to this barn which was in the middle of nowhere. He also had this large cloth bundle that was wrinkling and making noises. And he also had an axe. He told me to wait outside, and he went in with the bundle. As I waited, I heard the noises becoming louder. A lot of screaming that hurt my ears. And then, silence. Sam came out and his clothes and hands were all red. I don't know what any of this means, and Sam told me not to ask any questions. The good news is, Sarah doesn't come to school anymore. September 30th, 2019. Sam and I had a discussion yesterday. He said I was a smart kid and that I didn't need to go to school anymore. I don't really want to go to school anyway. It's boring. Sam said that he was going to take me to a special place, and I'm really excited. October 2nd, 2019. Sam is taking me to his house. It's not what I expected it to look like, though. It's very small and dirty. It has lots of red paint over the walls, and there are knives and other sharp objects that are lying around. It's fun living with Sam. He shows me all these really cool magic tricks. He brings home a new friend every day. The friend is usually tied up and screaming, and Sam magically makes them stop screaming by putting this really funny smelling cloth over their mouths. Then he takes them to this special room, and I never see them again. Sam tells me not to ask questions. Even I am kept tied up, but I don't mind. October 9th, 2019. Today Sam didn't bring any friend home. This time it was me who he wants to put the funny smelling cloth over, but it's okay. I know this is just a trick. I will fall asleep and wake up again, and everything will be alright. I trust Sam after all. Last entry. The end. Boy's gonna die. So, those were all the stories that I had lined up for tonight's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about doing the shorter stories. Normally I do longer ones, and they're like a different genre almost, these stories. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Yeah, just let me know if you guys like this better